Okay, so now I'm going to give you a whirlwind of what we call string methods. String methods, you can think of a method as like a built-in tool that is specifically in this case used to work on strings. So we already looked at the string function. I'm not going to get into the difference between a function and a method, but it's basically the same thing. They do something. They make something happen. They allow us to work with something. So here we have the len function. I have the sample string variable. I put a saying in here, okay? And so the length of that saying in characters is 33 characters. So that's the len function. So let's look at some of these string methods. And I've got some easy ones. Let's start with a couple of easy ones. If you want to do like all uppercase or all lowercase, we're going to call the upper and lower methods respectively. And you can see we have all caps on the upper, all lowercase on the lower. Here's another kind of along those lines, the capitalize. This is what we call sentence case, I believe. Yeah. So that would just capitalize the first letter in the sentence, which is fine. But if we had a proper noun in there, like let's say life is short, eat Ben and Jerry's first. I don't think that's going to work. Okay, you see that? So sentence case, you have to be careful with that capitalized method. It's, not super practical if you have proper nouns in there that need to be capitalized. Okay, so anyway, we have another one here, title case. Let's see what that does. Okay, life is short, eat dessert first. So it capitalizes every word, basically. And, again, you have to be careful with that. Like, what if I wanted to say eat a donut first? Okay, if this was a title, like a book title or an article title, you would not capitalize that A. So, you have to be careful. These are not foolproof here. Okay, so there is that. And let's see, I have a count method. Let's run that. Okay, so the number of times E, for example, appears in this string, we're going to call count, and we're going to say, hey, you count the number of E's. How many E's? So apparently the letter E appears 4 times in that particular string. And also, let's see what else we have. So index of short. Okay, so this index method is going to find where a certain substring or, smaller string within the string appears, okay? Okay, so apparently short starts at position 8. And if we were to count all these with a zero-based indexing system, that S would appear in the 8th position in the string. So you can find what you're looking for in a string by using the index method. Okay, so, I want to, there's a split method. I'm going to show you that. This is getting into our next data type, which we have not talked about yet, but we're headed there next. It's called the list. Let me show you. I'm going to run this. So I have called the split method on the sample string. And I put the result into a new variable, which I've called words. This words is a specific type. It's a specific data type. It is called a list. Okay? We're going to end up with what we call a list of words. And you can see, this is the list of words. You can see, it chopped up the string into, 6 discrete elements. And each word went into its own element in that list. So the list is a specific data type. If you've had programming in other languages, lists are often called arrays in other languages. So if you've heard of arrays, that's what we're talking about here. So again, that's a new data type that we'll dig into a lot this semester, starting probably with the next video, I'm thinking. But in any case, the split method on a string will give you a list of the words in that string. Okay, now I've got a quick one here. This is stripping out white space. Let me grab the code here. All right, so I have a new string here. I'm calling it the white space string. Okay, and what I've done is I've added some leading and trailing blanks. Okay, this is a common occurrence, like in computing in general, is to have kind of these leading and trailing blanks when you don't want, like the leading blank is easy to spot, but the trailing blank is not, if I were to print that, I wouldn't know that there were trailing blanks there. Okay, so anyway, I've got too much space in this string. So let me run that. Okay, so this was the original with too much space. Okay, so that was what I meant by, you wouldn't know by looking at that output that we have trailing blanks as well as leading blanks, but we do. But in any case, the strip method is going to strip off all blanks, leading and trailing blanks. That's very useful, okay, to just strip off a string. You're stripping off any leading and trailing blanks, and then you have a nice clean string to work with, okay? And then I have one more method. This is the replace method, okay? If you want to replace part of a string, so for example, if I want that saying to be, life is short, eat ice cream first, I can just put, this is the original sample string all the way up at the top. I can just call the replace method. I'm going to replace the word dessert with ice cream. Okay, and I will run that, and you can see the word has been replaced.